I used to believe that some people were just naturally smart. You know, the kind of people who seem to effortlessly ace every exam while you are sitting there, staring at your notes, wondering if you are even capable of passing. But here's the truth. You are not dumb. The problem isn't you, it's the way you have been taught to study. Most students are stuck using outdated study methods that do not work anymore. Highlighting notes, cramming the night before, and rereading textbooks over and over. That's not learning. That's busy work. But here's the good news. There's a strategy, a proven step-by-step system that can take you from struggling to excelling in any subject, no matter how bad you think you are at it. You don't need to be a genius, and you definitely don't need to spend every waking moment buried in books. So, in this video, I'm going to show you why most study methods fail and what to do instead. A simple framework that top students use to retain more information in less time. How to build a study routine that works for you. And finally, how to walk into your exam with confidence, knowing you've done everything you can to succeed. And if you stick around to the end, I will even share a game-changing technique that can help boost your memory overnight. But first, let me ask you this. What if the reason you're struggling isn't because you're not smart enough, but because no one ever taught you the right way to study? Let's start by addressing the elephant in the room. Most of what we're taught about studying is wrong. Think about it. How were you told to prepare for exams? Chances are, someone told you to read your notes, highlight important points, and maybe make a few flashcards. And sure, that might feel productive in the moment, but here's the harsh truth. It doesn't work. Why? Because those methods are passive. They don't engage your brain in the way it needs to learn and retain information. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're trying to learn how to ride a bike. Would you just sit on the couch, watch a bunch of YouTube videos about cycling, and expect to master it? Of course not. You'd need to actually get on the bike, practice balancing, and fall a few times before you got the hang of it. Studying works the same way. If all you're doing is passively consuming information, reading, highlighting, or even watching lectures, you're not actually training your brain to recall and use that information when you need it. So what's the alternative? The answer is a strategy called active recall, and it's the #1 tool used by top students around the world. Active recall is simple to understand but incredibly powerful. Instead of just reading your notes, you quiz yourself. You force your brain to retrieve information without looking at it first. Why does this work? Because every time you actively retrieve information, you're strengthening the neural connections in your brain. Think of it like lifting weights. The more you practice pulling information out of your memory, the stronger that memory becomes. Here's how you can start using active recall right now. 1. Turn your notes into questions. After every lecture or chapter, take a few minutes to write down questions based on what you just learned. For example, instead of writing, "The mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell," write, "What is the function of the mitochondria?" 2. Quiz yourself regularly. Use flashcards, apps like Anki, or even a blank piece of paper to test yourself on those questions. Don't just glance at the answers. Force yourself to recall them from memory. 3. Teach someone else. One of the best ways to test your understanding is to explain the material to someone else. If you can teach it clearly, you've mastered it. And here's a pro tip. Combine active recall with spaced repetition. This means reviewing the material at increasing intervals over time. For example, day 1, day 3, day 7, and so on. This strategy takes advantage of the way your brain processes and forgets information, ensuring that what you learn actually sticks. Now, let's talk about building a study routine. Because even the best strategies won't work if you don't have a plan. The first thing you need to understand is this: consistency beats intensity. Studying for 12 hours straight the night before, an exam might feel productive, but it's actually one of the least effective ways to learn. Your brain can only absorb so much information at once, and cramming overloads it. Instead, focus on short, focused study sessions spread out over time. Here's a simple framework you can follow. Study in 25-minute blocks. This is known as the Pomodoro technique. Study for 25 minutes, take a 5-minute break, and repeat. After 4 sessions, take a longer 15 to 30-minute break. Prioritize your weak areas. Spend more time on the subjects or topics you find difficult, rather than endlessly reviewing the things you already know. Set clear goals for each session. Don't just say, "I'll study biology." Instead, say, "I'll review the digestive system and answer 10 practice questions." And don't forget to schedule time for review. The more you revisit the material, the stronger your memory becomes. Let's be real. Even with the best plan, staying motivated is tough. Procrastination is the enemy, and it can strike at any time. So how do you stay on track? First, use the 2-minute rule. If you're feeling unmotivated, commit to studying for just 2 minutes. Tell yourself, "I'll only work on this for 2 minutes, and if I want to stop after that, I can." Most of the time, you'll end up continuing, because starting is the hardest part. Second, break your tasks into smaller, manageable chunks. Instead of saying, "I need to study for 5 hours," say, "I'll complete 3 25-minute sessions." Small wins build momentum. And finally, reward yourself. After a productive study session, treat yourself to something you enjoy. A snack, a quick scroll through social media, or an episode of your favorite show. The night before your exam, resist the urge to cram. Instead, focus on reviewing your key points and getting a good night's sleep. Sleep is crucial for memory consolidation, and pulling an all-nighter will only hurt your performance. On the day of the exam, take a few deep breaths to calm your nerves. Remind yourself that you've prepared, and focus on what you do know, not what you don't. And here's a quick trick. Before starting the test, do a brain dump. Write down any formulas, key facts, or reminders on scrap paper so you don't have to keep them in your head. This will free up mental space and help you focus. Thank you for watching this video. If you find this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell.